Good evening, team. Good evening, Africa. Good evening, family. It's always an exciting time for us to get on these calls that helps to empower us, that helps to better position us to be able to take advantage of all the potentials that we have in Partner Code to become the best version of ourselves and also to impact and to influence our community for good. And so this evening, we're super excited and we feel so blessed to have on the call President of EMEA Markets, and he's here to share with us personal development strategies, strategies that will help us, our team in Africa, our family in Africa, to be able to attract the new teams that we're looking forward to, and also to be able to retain our team members and to experience the kind of growth and success that we look forward to in 2024. So I'm super excited. I've got my pen and paper. I hope you've got yours too. Let's take notes and apply all of the things that we learn on this call. I'll hand over to Cameron Bott, President of EMEA Markets. Yes, it's President of our market, so we're super excited. Over to you, Cameron.
Thank you, Blessing. I appreciate that. And thank you for having me on today's call. I love these calls and I love personal development. It's one of my favorite things. Right? There's a bunch of different things that we can of how we can incorporate, what are the things that we can incorporate to really drive the business? What are some of the things that we can do? One of the things that we focused on is about building a steady cadence, right? A cadence of promotions, a cadence of business building, and it's also a cadence of things that we do in our life, right? What we've noticed. We were at the DSA talking to a bunch of companies, and one of the biggest companies in Europe is one called PM International. I mean, they're a monster here. It's interesting because their product line's really kind of old, their marketing super old, right? But they just continue to grow year after year after year. And one of the questions that was asked was, what do you guys do? And they said, it's consistency. It's things, and we work in consistency. That's what we're doing. We've been doing that in Europe and had great consistency. We're actually working with Blessing and the team to bring that cadence and that consistency and that awesomeness into the market. But you also need to know some of the things that we're doing to invest in the market, as far as we have an NFR process, which is chunky, right? But we found some ways to make it really smooth that we're going to be implementing. Okay. Going to be really cool things. But that's not what I want to talk about today. I kind of want to shift gears because there's a lot of strategies. There's a lot of things that we can do in order to build the business. But Tony Robbins, one of my favorites, I keep getting text messages here. One of my favorites to come into peak mind state, and leaving, meaning you've got to leave in peak state. Okay. I think that's the way it is with business. Before we get into planning and before we get into doing all of the important cadences and things like that, I think we always need to work on our mindset. And so that's why I like to have these trainings. It's all about mindset. What do we need to do to get to that next level? So today I want to address something that I've seen in a lot of companies, right? And as things start to go really, really well, ways that we can go. We can continue with that momentum, or we can get comfortable, right? And I think there's a tendency for a lot of people, when we've gone through hell for years and years and years, or it was really well, and then we went through hell and now it's going really well again. Everybody's like, time to take a little bit of a, right? That's the wrong time to do it, because we've finally got that ball rolling up the hill. We're pushing the bus up the hill. It's about keeping that momentum. So I want to talk about mindset today and a little bit of that. So I'm going to share my screen here. And let me move this over, actually. Sorry, it's a little bit a new computer and I have no idea how to use it. So that's always fun. All right, let's do this so that I can share my screen. Let's go full screen here. Great, that will work just fine. Share screen and tell me if you see the desktop image right here of spaghetti. You got that? Okay,
Yes.
great. All right. So one of my favorite things to eat, and I'll admit it, guys, like carbs, I know they're terrible for us, but come on, spaghetti's just awesome, right? It's so good. Great ingredients. I mean, you got carrots. If it's a good spaghetti bolognese, you got carrots, celery, onion, olive oil, salt, mincemeat, red wine, tomato sauce, vegetable broth. It's got pasta in it, right? Just absolutely delicious. My favorite thing. So I was on stage in Italy about 3 weeks ago, and I brought two examples. I said, here's a beautiful spaghetti bolognese, and I brought it up. And then I also brought, how many of you have ever been to the United States and eaten canned spaghetti called Chef Boyardee? It's terrible. It's awful stuff. Okay. But it's easy and it's inexpensive. And quite frankly, most Americans eat that crap. Okay. Because it's in a can, you put it in the microwave and it's just there. So I brought it, I opened it up and I asked one of our leaders, I said, would you be willing to eat this? And he's like, absolutely not. And I said, why? It has carrots, it has celery, it's got onion, it has olive oil, salt, mincemeat, red wine, tomato sauce, vegetable broth, pasta. It's all inside. It's the same exact ingredients. How come you're not willing to eat this? And it came down to, he said, well, it was the preparation of the product, right? It's the same ingredients, but the preparation was different. The end result was different because of this. At the end of the day, when you're making something good, you can have all of the same ingredients. You can have the work and go through what I call going through the fire, putting the heat in, putting the hard work in, putting the time in. You can either have a really delicious spaghetti bolognese or you can have canned Chef Boyardee. Okay. Too many people nowadays think that, well, guess what? I have all of the ingredients. Isn't that good enough? Might be for some people, but I'm here to say no, it's not. Ingredients don't make the end result. It's what you do with those ingredients. Okay. Well, what leads us to do nothing with our ingredients? I've done a lot of research on this and a lot of thinking lately, and it's comfort. This idea of I've done enough. I've gotten to a point where I have the ingredients. I'm kind of excited that I have the ingredients, and now I'm comfortable because I got to a certain point. Okay. Well, comfort, my friends, is an illusion. People, if you ask people, what are you working for? What are you working so hard for? What is your intention? I am surprised at the amount of people that I hear, well, I want to be able to retire comfortably. What does that mean? So I have them explain. I said, what does retiring comfortably mean? Well, I want to be able to have enough money that I don't have to do much and do anything. I said, so you want to get to a spot where you can just sit, right? And you can just hang out. That should not be the goal. Our goal should be, I want to be able to help people. I want to get to a spot where I've got enough money where I can add value to this world, where I can continue to grow, right? Comfort's an illusion, right? This is an illusion, right? Nothing's moving on the page, but as you look at it, it kind of looks like it's moving. Comfort is a result of ease. That's scary music, right? It creates a sense of security by relying on familiar things in familiar ways. Actually, I got to do something real quick. I got to share my volume. Hold on. Let's see. Stop share. Sorry. Let me do this again. Share my screen, share sound. That works better. Okay. Comfort is a result of ease. It creates this false sense of security by relying on familiar things in familiar ways. Comfort is not actually something that's good for us. Okay. And let's talk about why. How does setting your sights on comfort affect you? Well, think about it. If I get to a place where I'm so comfortable that I don't feel like I need to do anymore, it narrows my mind. It narrows my thought processes. I'm so comfortable that I don't need to think anymore. Comfort weakens your body. Okay. I have to go and work out every single night because in order to maintain some sort of physique, you got to work out every night and it's painful. My legs are on fire today. I did legs yesterday. It's the worst day of the week, right? Would I rather be comfortable sitting and hanging out with my family and playing games and maybe eating? Sure, that's comfortable. But what happens to your body? It weakens. You lose muscle. You get fat. We get, right? Things happen. But comfort also robs our heart of determination and power. When I get to a point where I feel, hey, I've got all the ingredients and that's kind of good enough, I don't have determination to move forward and to go on. So again, comfort is an illusion, but I want to convince you of one other thing, and that is that comfort kills. Okay. I want to get you to the point where you're going, it's not just about ingredients. It should never be about comfort, but I want you to get to the point where you go, holy cow, comfort is not only bad, it is the scariest thing ever. I'm going to give you some statistics and I want to show you these things. In 1975, in the United States, McDonald's opened its very first drive-through. How many of you have ever used the McDonald's drive-through? I have, right? Making it even easier to get our hands on comfort food. In 1975, there were under 1,000 McDonald's worldwide, and there was only one internationally, one in Canada. That's it. By 1990, after they opened the drive-through, there was a McDonald's opening every 5 hours somewhere in the world. Every 5 hours, a new McDonald's is opening, and it's still growing on that trend. Okay. Why? Because it got easier and more comfortable for us to get food. I don't want to go sit in a restaurant. I want to take my food home and eat in solidarity, right? Now, I'm not saying this is McDonald's fault, but I'm going to show you some statistics. As of 1975, between 1975 and just a few years ago, let's look at the obesity rates in the world, how they're growing. Okay. Everybody always teases the United States saying we're the fattest place on the face of the planet, right? We have the highest obesity rates. And for a long time, that was true. Look at that, 92. I mean, we're getting into obese and morbid obese now. But as of 2024, do you know what the most obese nation in the world is? China. No one would have ever thought that 15, 20 years ago that China would become the most obese nation. They're the most obese nation on the face of the planet. You know who's number two? Mexico. Nobody would have ever thought that too. Okay. Ease of food is creating problems. Ease of life is creating problems. I no longer have to go out and do hard things to get my food. I don't have to work hard. I don't have to go out and build things, right? It's creating an issue for us. What is that leading to? Rates of diabetes from 1984 until now. Diabetes is increasing over the planet. You know, have you guys heard of type 3 diabetes? It's where people are losing their minds, right? That's occurring in huge rates too. Cancer incidences from 93 to 2017 are increasing. We're having to spend hundreds of billions of dollars on cancer research. Why is this happening? It's because of the food that we're putting in our mouths, which is becoming a result of ease. I'm telling you, it is an epidemic. Food is not the epidemic. Ease and comfort is the epidemic that is happening here. And everything is getting more easy in our life. Let me talk to you about another epidemic. Let's talk social media. I utilize social media every day. I think it's an important tool. It has done so much for us, but it is also destroying us. As of 2018, the average, this is in the United States, the average amount of hours spent engaging with digital media, I'm talking social media, videos, web pages, 6 hours a day. 2024, do you know what the new statistic is in the United States? 10 hours. Okay, I went, and I'm going to wrap my son out. I was in Mexico this last weekend. My wife went on a girls' trip, so we had a babysitter there. And I came home, and you got to look at the search history. And it's a teenage boy. Got to make sure everything's okay, right? Looking at the search history over the weekend, 13 hours on YouTube. 13. And I said, what in the world is happening? 13 hours? How do you, like, my brain wouldn't even function over 13 hours. Okay. And I said, why are you doing that? I said, well, I didn't want to go out, and hang out with my friends. I said, you play on a baseball team, you play on a lacrosse team, you play on a football team, you're our star pitcher. And instead of going out there and practicing for the game that we have on Saturday, you've got 13 hours on YouTube. Said, you're probably not starting on Saturday, right? This is the kind of crap that's killing us. Look at this stuff. Mental health and substance use disorders since social media has been implemented. This one scares me to death. Percentage of one-person households from 1960 to 2018. This is the amount of people living alone. Living alone. What is that doing to us? This one's going to scare you. The birth rate as of 1951 until just a few years ago. Guys, we're disappearing as a people. We are not repopulating the earth. I had a conversation with some of our Chinese brand partners because we're trying to find really young new generations in China, and had a talk with a couple of college-age students. And well, actually, some of them were in their mid-30s, unmarried, living with mom and dad. And I said, that's normal in China right now. 30, 34, 40, living with mom and dad, no kids. I said, tell me a little bit about your lifestyle, your thought process. And they said, it's so much easier and it's so expensive and it's so hard now to raise a family that I've gotten used to this being my new world. Everything's in here. Everything that I want and everything that I need. I can get entertainment, I can get pleasure, I can get food, I can get everything that I want in this little device. Why would I go out and do the hard things? Raising a family is hard. Going through challenges with kids is hard. Marrying is hard. Maintaining a marriage or relationship is difficult. Why would I go do that? It's more comfortable this way. And I went, exactly. That mindset of comfort is killing us, and it is prevalent. It's in life, it's in business, it's everywhere. So I'm telling you right now, one of the things that we as people need to focus on, and it starts with us because we have such a great reach out into our networks and our people, we've got to get people into the mindset of comfort is not where I want to go. I want to be able to improve and continue to grow and continue to improve upon everything that I've got. And when I get to a point where I think I'm great, now I need to start helping other people too to get to that point. I want to talk about wine grapes versus table grapes. This is kind of an interesting thing. I'm going to show the differences between a wine grape and a table grape. Okay. One of them is very expensive, worth a lot more, and one of them is less healthy and doesn't do much for us. So let's talk table grapes first. Table grapes taste good, right? They're bigger. There's no seeds inside, which a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't like the seeds. Okay. Did you guys know that the health benefits from a grape come from two portions? Where does it come from? The skin and the seed. Okay, so when we're eating seedless grapes and skin and grapes that have thin skin, we're not getting health benefits from them. Table grapes are bigger, no seeds inside. They have a shorter growing period. They grow in less heat. They're often covered. They have pesticides sprayed on them. And because they're protected, they have a thin skin. They don't have to protect themselves from bugs. Okay. Table grapes are also pruned less often. They grow in bigger clumps. So there's a lot more grapes on the vine. Okay. Well, because of that, they're less concentrated juice. There's a lot more water in them. They're less sweet. And as they spend a lot of money on table grapes because they don't have all the health benefits. Okay. And you can't make wine out of table grapes. I've never drank wine, but anybody that's drinking wine knows that you're not going to have a table grape wine. It's going to be terrible. Okay. Let's talk wine grapes. Wine grapes are smaller. They have seeds inside. They have a much longer growing period. And generally, the best wine grapes grow in high heat, in uncomfortable environments. They have a thick skin to protect themselves because if they don't get, there's not pesticides sprayed on them. And if they don't protect themselves, they die out. So there's natural selection on wine grapes. Okay. They are pruned more often. If they don't fit the right mold, they're cut off to reserve the nutrients that are needed to go to the healthy grapes. Okay. One vine produces only 8 to 12 pounds of grapes, where you're getting 20 to 30 pounds of table grapes. But as a result, they're more concentrated, they're sweeter, they have more health benefits, and they're worth more. Noni, I want to give you an example. I just learned this a couple of weeks ago. So I was talking to John about this talk, and he said, you know what, we did an experiment with Noni years and years ago, where we grew noni in a greenhouse because we wanted to see if we could grow them inside to duplicate the efforts. Said when we took the noni from the greenhouse out, it had no iridoids. Nothing. None. The iridoids and the health benefits come from the extreme heat and the extreme environment. Okay. And why do I bring up grapes and all this is because people ask me, well, how do we, I know we can't just have comfort, but how do I get myself to become a better version of myself? You have to, it's what I tell my baseball teams. Every single baseball practice, they have to run, it's about the equivalent of 2 miles around the bases. And by the time they're done, they're exhausted. And I say, embrace the suck, gentlemen, embrace it. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the hard thing, because guess what? When it comes time for game time and you guys are more resilient than the other team, that's when you're going to enjoy. That's when you're going to have fun. So embrace the hard things right now. It's the same with us. We have to do the hard things, and we have to do them early in business. We have to keep doing the hard things. You've got to not avoid the difficult environments. Okay. Avoiding the difficult environments means avoiding the hard phone calls, avoiding the hard conversations they have with team members to say, hey, you know what? That's not our culture. That's not how we work. Avoiding the hard work of I got to put the hours in today so that I can enjoy later on. Right. That's what this is all about. So this is why I bring up grapes. Put yourself in an environment where it's a little bit higher heat, where you have a little bit thicker skin, because at the end of the day, you're going to be sweeter, more concentrated, and worth a lot more. Okay. I want to give you an example, and might not share this. Well, yeah, I'll share this video. I'm going to turn the volume down on it though. So I want to share an experience from my own life that was pretty important. Something that made really a big difference for me. It was about 15 years ago, and I moved into a home and it had quite a bit of farmland on it. It's really interesting. Really, really cool place. But the previous owner, he'd been somewhat lackluster and careless in keeping it up. Okay, so the yard was a mess. And I went out one morning and I saw a huge currant bush. You guys know what currants are? The most delicious little red fruits. They're beautiful. I don't like the black currants. They're too sweet for me. The red currants, because they're bitter and they're beautiful. When I went out there, there's this huge currant bush out there. And it was massive and it had flowers everywhere, but it did not have a single sign of fruit. Okay. I've had experience before, and in order to make that thing grow fruit, I had to cut it down. I put out my pruning shears and I cut it down into a little tiny stump. Okay. Nothing left. That was about it. And as I looked at this little stump, I could almost see a little tear rolling down the middle of it. And I thought I heard it say something to me. I said, "What's the matter? Why are you crying? Why does it look like you're crying?" And I thought I heard it say, "How could you do this to me? I was making such wonderful growth. I was as large and comfortable, and you cut me down. How could you do it? I thought you were the gardener here." And I said, "Look, little blackberry bush, I am the gardener here, and I know what I want you to be. But if I let you grow the way you want to grow, if I let you fall into comfort, you're never going to amount to anything. But someday, when you're full of fruit, you're going to think back and say, thank you for things." Now, 10 years passed. Let's get that muted up there real quick. Sorry. Come on here. Right here. Mute that up. Oh, hey, Blessing, can you get that background noise muted for me? Let's see if we can find it. Sorry, 1 second. There we go. Got it. Okay. All right. So I'm a little bit crazy. I talk to weeds. Don't worry about it. Okay. But it says, "Hey, how could you cut me down? I was making a ton of growth. I was doing really, really great." And I said, "Listen, I know what I want you to be, and I know what I need to do to make you grow, and I have to cut you down." So about 10 years later, I'm doing really, really great in my career. Okay. I'm doing awesome. I'm next in line to be one of the top dogs in the business, right? I've got an incredible savings. I've got great ownership. I've got money for my retirement. Like, I was set. I mean, I'm probably 5 years away from being able to retire at that time. I probably wouldn't, because, I'd like to do things, but I had enough that I could retire and do the things that I wanted to do. Let's see. But at that time, companies joined together, opportunities looked like they were growing, but then it almost as if overnight, and I know a lot of you experienced this too, things turned upside down. I lost everything. My career was in question. I didn't know if I was going to have a job. I got wrapped up in crazy legal battles that took every cent of my retirement. I lost my dad that same year. My dad died when he was 68, young, died of an aggressive form of cancer. I lost my friends. I lost my mentor. I lost my dad, who showed me my way in life. And now I had nobody to go and talk to find out what was happening, where I needed to go. I was deflated. I became a shell of a person. And I remember one night sitting and shaking my hand up at God and saying, "Why would you do this to me? I was making awesome growth. I was doing beautifully, and you've cut me down." Then I heard the words that I said to that bush come back to myself and say, "Listen, I'm the gardener here. I know what I want you to be. And if I let you go the way you want to go, you're not going to amount to anything. Root, I want the right direction. It may have seemed comfortable. It may have been great, but that's not where you wanted to go." And he says, "I know in time You're going to look back and thank me for cutting you down. You're going to look back and say, thank you, Mr. Gardner, for loving me enough to hurt me, to take away the things that I wanted, the things that I thought I wanted, the things that were comfortable for me. Those are the words that I recognized that were my own that I said back to the little bush, right? Sometimes it seems not fair in life. Things happen to us, we get cut down. But guess what? You have to love yourself enough to move away from comfort and to do the hard things. That's life. That is what's going to separate you from being good to being great. Embracing the suck. Understanding that, guess what? Sometimes life has a way of cutting you down because you're not going in the right direction. As a result of that, have made all of the difference for me. And I know I was getting into a comfortable position. Ridiculous. This is that nobody gets to. I would have fallen into comfort. I would have gotten lazy. Who knows what impact that would have had on my marriage? Who knows what impact that would have had on my kids? What kind of example I would be setting for them? I work hard every single day for what I have. And now I've changed my mindset to that's not my goal. My goal is not comfort. My goal is to help people and to continue to grow. That's where we need to be. So calls to action on this, guys. Number one, we are in a company, we are in a place where you have the resources, the tools, the training, the learning, the ability, the environment, like the entire community where you can help people get out of a dangerous cycle of comfort. That can be with their eating. It can be with their nutrition. It can be with their health. It can be with their mindset. There is an epidemic of people who have fallen into comfort with everything, and we're getting obese. Our mindsets are failing. We're having mental problems. You have a solution. But guess what? You don't have to do it alone. You have a community here, and you can find people out there to help you make a movement in the world. I've talked before about how we create movements, how we create momentum. Go find people who are looking for solutions. They are everywhere. Everywhere. I talk to people every single day. And they're like, what is that thing? What are you doing? What do you have? What do you look? And I share with them. Help people get out of the danger cycle of comfort. That's number one. How do we do that? We've got product, we've got business, we have mindset, we have trainings, we have communities. Invite them in. The more people we can bring to this thing, the better off we're going to be. Number two, I invite you, and I'm going to ask you at the very end, I want a yes, no, I'm willing, I'm not willing to do these things, right? Continue to push yourself. You be more than just good. You are all good. All of you are great. You're all amazing. But look at yourself and do an assessment. Am I a cup of ingredients? Am I a list of ingredients? If you are, that's awesome. You're good. Take it to the next step. I got to go through some of the hard things. I got to be put in the oven to refine myself, to bake myself, right? To come to final completion on this thing. Become more than just good. Go to great. How do you do that? Embrace the hard things. I'll do another training a little bit on our next one, which is it's all about organizing your day. One of the things that changed my mindset was doing the hardest things at the very beginning of my day. Because what inevitably happens is if we do the easy things first, we get them done, and then emergency happens, or I got to go pick up carpool, or the laundry didn't get done, or whatever. And then we put off to the end of the day the things that are most important, but they never get done. Do the hard things first. Embrace the suck, like I tell the boys. Do the hard things now because it's going to pay off in the end. And then number three, if you are already that beautiful spaghetti bolognese, right? You're already amazing, which many and most of you are. Awesome. Congratulations. Then reach down and help people go from good to great. It's not fair if you're already awesome and you're just like, look at me, I'm cool. Help people. There's so many people out there that need what you have, need your expertise, need you as an individual. I don't know what you believe, and I'm not, this isn't a religious class here, but I believe that we were put on earth for this reason, and those reasons are to help other people get to where they can't get by themselves. Each of you have been given specific talents, and I think each of you have a specific calling in life, and you're doing it right now. Reach down and help people go from good to great. That is how we go from good to great, and that's how we're better together. That word better together is not just a cute tagline. It truly is. We're reaching down and giving people of ourselves, of our essence, of our talents. But in order to do that, you have to change your mindset first. So, my first question, now I want to see it in the chat here. And if you listen, and I want you to really think about this. If you're willing, I want you to make a commitment to yourself. Are you willing, number one, to help find people to get them out of the dangerous cycle of comfort? If you're willing, put it in there. But this is a statement to yourself. So if you're not willing, don't put it in there. I tell my son this all the time. I said, if you're going to make a commitment to me, make a commitment, but only do it if you plan on doing it. Are you willing to help people? I think most of us are. We've got the tools. Number two, are you willing to continue to push yourself from good to great? And that means embracing all the crappy things that come along with it, embracing the suck, embracing the pain, embracing the joy, because it's not always bad things. It's fun, right? But changing your mindset to this sucks. I don't want to do this. You can go to the gym every day, and if you have the mindset of this sucks, this is painful, I'm not going to do it. Instead of look at the progress that I'm making. Holy cow, look, I've got a new muscle in my arm. I've got a new muscle in my leg. Look at this. This is exciting. Change your mindset. If you're willing, put a yes in there. I love it, Lizelle. Even a bad day with partner, that was a good day. Awesome. And that also includes embracing the hard things in business. Because guess what? Every day doesn't go great. And if every day is going great, it's just because you're not looking in the right areas. Right? There's always something we can fix. I tell my salespeople, I say, if you go a week and it's just really quiet and everything's going really well, it's because we're not looking close enough, right? We're missing something because there's always going to be some form of something we need to fix or chaos, and that's business. That's life. Fix that mentality. And then number three, are you willing, if you've already perfected yourself and become amazing, are you willing to reach down and help others go from good to great? I am. I'm trying. I try every day, but I'm willing. And you got to think about it all the time. This is the first step in our mindset before we can implement all of the actions and all of the tools, because we've got plenty of those and all of the plans and all the cadence and all that. None of that works unless you're willing to do the hard work, because cadence is hard. It's hard to follow. It's hard to do, but it's worth it. And unless you have the mindset, I don't want to be comfortable. I want to be great. And I don't want others to be comfortable. I want them to be great. If you get that mindset, then guess what? There's no stopping us. We're going to be absolutely awesome. I ended a little bit early. It's a quick one. Usually it's step-by-step translation, so it lasts about an hour and a half, but that was a quick 40 minutes. We're proud of each one of you. All. We love you. We love this community. Partner Co is such a fun place to be. It's the right place to be. Even inside the industry, there's all these companies that are like, well, we made bad decisions and now we're moving on. At Partner Co, we're making the right decisions because we make the hard decisions. We love having you as partners, and we're excited to move forward because we've made those hard decisions. We've built this beautiful foundation, and we've carried over a lot of great things from our foundations. But we are dedicated to continuing growing this thing, to bringing you the tools, to bringing you the right people at the right time in the right places to make sure that you have something that is long-term, long-lasting, exciting, but more than that, it's something that can change people's lives. So let's take all of that. Let's go out together. This is the clarion call to make this thing happen. If you're in the uncomfortable phase, I love it. We got some notes here. I'm in the uncomfortable phase, right? That's great. That's a great place to be, because if you're in the uncomfortable phase, it means you're doing something right. Okay? Keep pushing through. We'll stay here to support you. Love this. Lizelle Williams, millionaires in the birthing right here. This is, it is absolutely awesome. Okay. Have an amazing day, an amazing week, an amazing month, an amazing year. We've got some incredible things coming up. Guys, it's all about this mindset, this growth mindset. So keep it up and let us know how we can help you. But I hope that you enjoyed what we've got for you today. I hope this helps. I hope it puts you in a different state of mind. Because again, as Tony Robbins says, we've got to enter this business every single day in peak state. So think about this. What are the things that you can do to get into peak state every day? Take this training. What are the things you can do to go from good to great every single day? Turn the time back over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Might turn the time back
so
over.
much. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you so much, Cameron. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Wow. Team, when we talk about us coming on these calls and learning strategies, that really helps us to live more purposeful and fulfilling lives. We've just had one this evening. I hope that you were truly, truly blessed, as I was. So many things to have learned from Cameron. And Field, did you know what I just did right now? I went straight to Cameron's calendar and booked him for every month for the rest of the year. We want to have this every single month for the rest of the year. It's been a great night, team. So much. I hope you took notes. We will make the recording available. This is so much information to help us get out of the comfortable zone and do the hard things that really bring great results. And so thank you for getting on this call with us. My name once again is Blessing Edet. I have on the call with me my colleague Neil Ntinyai in South Africa, and also Pamela, our partner support in Nigeria, and our team. Remember our team that works behind the scene and do all of the hard work too. We appreciate every one of our team members in Africa. We appreciate our partner council members on the call. Thank you for your leadership and for your continued support. Thank you to all our team members, everyone on the field for doing the hard work. We can do so much more. Have a great evening. Bye, team.
Thank you so much, team. Good evening.
Thanks,
you.
Everybody. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, Cameron. Thank you, Blessing and Nayo. We love you guys.
Love you
Africa, let's go.
Thank you. Thank you, Cameron. Thank you, Blessing.
Thank you.
Amazing call.
Thank you, Cameron. I learned a lot. Thank you.
Oh, thank
you. What a call. Wow.
I know. Absolutely amazing.
Amazing, amazing.
Incredible call, Neil.
I have goosebumps.
I do, I know.
I have goosebumps.
We can also relate. It's so relatable. Yeah. Mm.
Amazing.
Hey, you guys are
Good
doing
evening,
awesome.
team.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you. Bye, Cameron.
Bye, team. Have a great evening.
Bye, everybody.
This month.